We are live and the market is live and the tariffs are live. So let's not waste any time. Let's take a look what's going on right now. Okay. So what does this actually mean, right? What does this actually mean for you as an investor? Well, this is what we call a black swan. A black swan is an event that we thought was not going to happen. But if you take a look at some of the previous video I put together, we shouldn't be too surprised. We're too surprised that he did what he did. Why? Because he said he was going to do it. Okay. And frankly, what he's trying to do is literally trying to turn over NAFTA. Right? He wants to bring everything back here, bring the golden age, and that is not going to happen with some level of pain. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you as the market is developing what is going on and what could potentially happen. Okay, two things could potentially happen. Let's talk about the good news first. The good news is um, it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt us. We're looking probably at the 2% impact on Mexico, and we are looking at maybe 0.5% for Canada. Um, it's going to hurt them. Us, it's probably going to cost us some inflation. Okay. Now, today's Monday. It's happening tomorrow. So, but this thing is cooked in now. That's the bad thing. The good thing is the guy is doing what he said he was going to do. You may not have believed it, but he wants to do it. Now, this is negotiation. You have to understand the way he thinks. Right now, it's almost impossible to actually come up with a price for anything because that's what the stock market does, right? It does a lot of price discovery. It's difficult to come up with a price on anything because there are so many things on the table. I mean, you've got the tariffs, you've got you got Canada, and then um, you've got Canada, and then you have Mexico. Okay, so we're saying that's good. He's thinking Europe. He's thinking Europe. Tired of being taken advantage of all these people. So now you got Europe on the table. You've got Rubio that's down in Panama. Just FYI, the good news is Panama is willing to do a few things to help out along the way. They're willing to negotiate. Okay. That's what they're doing. Now, are they going to continue to do that? I don't know. We'll see. Um, that's what they're doing. The next thing that they're doing is this Greenland. Then he's doing this thing with South Africa. What is it all about? Well, it's about the fact that he wants to give, he thinks that the landowners over there are not doing such a great job, and therefore we need to do something to help the South African. I think it's very commendable. So you got all these things on the table, all these things on the table. How do you decide anything? How do you value anything? So basically, what you got yourself a room full of black swans. And that the market hates black swan because they don't know what's going on, right? Even if these people say, yes, we're going to do them, it would take years for them to bring a plant over, right? To build something in the US, to bring it back the way it was. So what you have to look for is negotiations, right? You hope that the negotiations are going to be successful. If they are successful, then they're going to say, we're going to do this for you, do that for you. We promise, we promise, we promise. Cat down. Then it's going to look like a winner. But if they don't, if they decide that, you know what, this is not going to happen, we do because we can't afford it. So therefore, we're going to also fight you with 25, like Canada and Mexico are doing. Then that's going to be a problem. Now, of course, you could see the relationship with Panama is a much stronger relationship. So it was announced that the Panamanian, basically, even though people were complaining in the streets, the Panamanian have accepted to essentially renegotiate this contract that they have with China, but they're saying no for the U.S. to take over the Panama Canal. Okay, he's doing his jobs. We should not be surprised, right? We should not be surprised. I think people don't realize who they were dealing with, but we should not be surprised that what Trump is doing. Okay, and he's going to keep on doing. Why? Well, he's got the team. They are tied together. Second, this is it for him. This is it. It's over. I mean, he's got the 4 years and he's done. So he has nothing else to do but this golden age that he's trying to build is, I guess, his legacy, right? So he's going to keep pushing. And the U.S., it's 350, 360 million people, consumers. So you're going to ram this thing through, and you're saying, fine, you want to. I'm not a bully. I'm not a bully. I mean, you guys have been bullying us for years. We had lots of workers in the U.S. and I mean, if you look, if you know the history, of, for example, of Allentown, the history of Allentown with Bethlehem Steel, the entire town got destroyed because Bethlehem Steel lost its business to Japan Steel because the government over there was subsidizing the steel production so we can survive, and because we're playing fair, we all these people lost jobs. These are the people that are voting to Trump. These are the people that are saying no more, we want our job back. And I don't know exactly what that means, because when you want the job back, you want basically I guess BMW used to start making BMWs here. Maybe they do, but they need to do more. Canada. Now, if you know a little bit of a history, I will tell you that the impact is going to be as follows, right? So Canada, we forget your French fries. Almost 80% of U.S. frozen French fries imports come from Canada. So that's going to cost you. About 50% of imports of bakery products come from Canada. Lumber comes from Canada. Natural gas comes from Canada, and crude oil from U.S. refinery comes from Canada. So, and that's a big one. That's going to be a big one. Okay, as far as Mexico is concerned, well, you're getting your strawberries, your raspberries, your tomatoes, your avocados, your tequila, your beer, your TVs, believe it or not, and your PCs. Shares of U.S. imports almost more than 50%. So you're going to be impacted. I don't care who you are, what you do, and what you think. You're going to be impacted with those tariffs. Now the point is going to be is what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to be buying U.S. Well, what do you think the U.S. producers are going to stand still when all prices are going up? They're going to say, listen, I don't have enough TVs for everyone, or tomatoes or potatoes or whatever, so I'm going to charge you more. And that's going to be it's going to hurt, right? But that's from a personal standpoint. From a strategic standpoint, from a stock market standpoint, what does it mean? It means that watch out for the black swan. What you're going to do, it also means that's the reason why you need to make sure you protect your portfolio. How can I protect myself from something that I don't know? Well, but that's the idea, right? And I was going to do that. I was thinking of doing, and I got stuck in a trade with Tesla, and I'm marrying the trade until the end. I don't care. Okay, I bought some options, but it was too soon, right? It's a timing issue at the end of the day. It's always a timing issue. The lesson is what? Well, if you're going to do trades, make sure you split your trade. Make sure you're a little bit everywhere, because that's going to hurt you. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the market. Let's take a look at the screen here. You could see it continues to be painful. We're talking 500 points, 400, 337, 1.70. Dow drops more than 400 points. So it skidded down. It was up, went only down 500. So the market is punishing here at this point. So we're still that's the stock market for you. What do you do in a situation like that? Well, at this point, you don't sell, right? You don't sell. I mean, for the simple reason is this is the market telling Trump, this is hurting us. This is going to be. We don't know what the impact is going to be. Now you got to think that these people are playing three-dimensional chess, right? They knew this was going to happen, and what they're banking on is some sort of a discussion. Let's negotiate. Um, Now, you got to be careful with Canada because Trudeau is leaving. So, frankly, he doesn't care what the impact is going to be for him. So, you can't go by that. Mexico, I didn't hear the president say anything. I know its ministers said something, but I didn't hear the Mexican president said anything. So, that could say that they don't want to piss off too much, right? 2% out of their GDP, that's going to hurt. Okay. Europe is not really saying anything. Now, Europe is not saying anything because they got to be careful. They are suffering down there. France is trying to pass a budget, which is probably not going to pass because nobody wants to work, and and they want to stick it to the rich as usual. So that's not going to help. Germany is suffering. They don't have enough people, being born to. There's not enough workers, so that's what they have to take all the immigrants. Italy's doing a little bit better, but we're going to do with Italy, right? And so Europe is tilling on a potential breakup, if you want to believe that, because it's going to be a tough one. It's difficult right now in Europe. So the last thing they need now, don't forget, they're supposed to spend more money for Zelensky and his war with Russia. I don't know if they won't do that anymore, but on top, because they were expecting the U.S., that's not going to happen. Trump is not going to spend any more money down there. This is over. That dog don't hunt anymore. Okay, so we're not helping we're not helping Ukraine. We're going to stop this war, according to him. And so Russia, so Europe they got to be careful. I mean, it's a big bloc, just as large as the U.S., but it's also a bloc that is suffering. Do you want to pick a fight now? Okay. Now, what I think happened is they thought he was bluffing. They thought he was just talking. Right? Well, look what he's doing with the immigration. He's going from house to house. He said, "I am going to remove the illegals." I said, "Well, okay, so you're going to get rid of the murderer and the rapist, right?" Well, yeah, but I'm also going. If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. So we're wrapping you into that as well. Oh my God! So is he going to grab everyone? Well, probably not. But the point is going to go on and on and on. So on that table that he has, right, that Trump has, he's got everything on the table. All the cards are on the table. So if you're on the opposite side, stock market wise, or you want to do business with the guy, how are you going to negotiate with someone like that? Because you don't know where he stands. If you're in the stock market, what is going to be the impact? Inflation. We're worried about we went from four cuts to two cuts, and the market said, "Ooh!" And now we are talking if they're going to do, because remember in the 30s we were at 17% tariffs. We went down to almost zero. Okay. According to him, if we do all the things that he says he's going to do, we're going to go back to 13%. That is going to have I did a video on that too recently. I believe this is going to impact inflation by 0.5%. Okay. So we are like 2.5. We're supposed to be 2. According to their numbers, we could go up to 2.5, 3%. So now you got to raise rates. So you got the Fed in the middle, and he's saying to the Fed, you got to lower the rates. If the Fed didn't do anything this time, we got to be careful because you're going to be watching this guy, the Fed chairman. If he doesn't do anything the next time around, because don't forget, inflation is supposed to be under control. He complained about Biden, and now what is he going to do? Because obviously it's out of control because inflation is going to start going back up when those things are. So what do, right? But again, all the chips on the table, all the cards on the table, and that's why he likes it. He likes it that way because you don't know what he's going to be doing, but he has huge influence. And all the people working for him are working for him. Let me tell you, these people are not texting. They're not saying anything. They're all for him. So you have a block there. So how do you negotiate? How do you do price discovery when you have so many items on the table. It is going to be very difficult to price, to decide, but that's how you negotiate. That's how you negotiate. You negotiate by not telling them what you're going to do. And they're not used to that, right? I mean, they're not used to that because, first of all, the people that you're dealing with are more of a committee kind of approach, Europe and Canada and all these places. In the US, it's just one person. He's deciding everything and he's doing it. And he's doing it why? Because I don't think he has nothing to lose, but he's not looking for re-election. So you're dealing with something very special. Now, this could turn out to be the greatest thing in the world because the same way Panama is kind of wavering a little bit by saying, well, you can't take us over, but okay, fine, we won't deal with the Chinese, we won't renew the Chinese, because they have two ports at the beginning, at the entrance of Panama Canal, so they kind of controlling it, but officially it still belongs to the Panamanian. And now, if someone said, "Well, war with China," listen, China hasn't gone into war. I don't know in how many years. So that is the last thing they want. So it's not a question of war. It's going to be it could be a business. It could be economic war. But that's all you're going to have right now. So basically, you are dealing in a situation where you don't know what's happening, and the market does not like that. But you, my friends, as investors, this could be a great opportunity. Remember 2008, remember 2020, stock market drop. You remember what I said all the time. You buy when everybody else is selling. I mean, I am looking at VMC here, which is at 270, 269. Okay. I'm looking, I'm not going to talk about NVIDIA all the time. I'm looking at GCT, which is currently around what? GCT is at almost it's in the 19. This was trading way before. This was trading in a $22, and now it's down to $19. What does that have to do with NAFTA, right? VMC in December was almost 290. Now it's down to 270. This is time to go shopping. This is time to go shopping. That is the lesson today. You go shopping for these stocks because they're very cheap. I'm on Tesla is down 6%. Imagine. Remember, when that thing is going to be trading at $500, you're going to remember this day. You are going to remember this day. So the lesson for today is time to go shopping.